Hello, this is The Truth About News. This is a show where we focus on the truth and nothing but the truth about top stories that's in the news. Now, the story I'm bringing today is about Donald Trump being found guilty of 34 felonies. 34 felonies. Donald Trump was found guilty. I'll review that, and also I'll review Hunter Biden's case also. But first thing about Donald Trump, here's what you need to know. Alvin Bragg, who was the state prosecutor, he had 4 potential objects of offense that he charged Donald Trump with. The first one was violation of federal campaign finance laws under the Federal Election Campaign Act, violation of New York Election Law 17-5112, violation of federal, local, and state tax laws. And also he filed one more motion, which was to falsification of business records outside the Trump organization. Now the judge struck that last one down. So those were what was charged with. Now I hear the media talking about, oh, it's a hush money case, it's this case. No, it was these laws that Donald Trump was found violating. Now let me say this. Donald Trump running out here talking about the judge don't like him and all this other kind of nonsense. It was a jury of Donald Trump's peers who found him guilty. Not the judge, a jury of his peers. Donald Trump had an attorney. Donald Trump's running around here talking about, I got all this money, I hired the best people. Well, I guess he hired his best lawyer. I guess he paid that lawyer the best money he can pay him, and the lawyer still couldn't prove his innocence. So the bottom line is Donald Trump was found guilty of a jury of his peers. His attorney had the opportunity. Matter of fact, his attorney agreed, along with the prosecution, of witnesses to take and sit as a juror. Right? So he had a fair trial, folks. He had more than a fair trial. Matter of fact, if it was anybody else, you, me, or anybody else, and we violate the gag order that the judge hands down, not once, not twice, but 9 times he violated the gag order. Donald Trump did. And the judge didn't put him in jail. Now, you're talking about a 2-tier justice system. You're just looking at one right now, because you and I, we would have been in jail, folks, violating the first gag order. Wouldn't have to been no 9. You know what I mean? So this man got the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to move on, folks. Y'all stick with me. Here's what Donald Trump said back in 2016 about when Hillary Clinton was under investigation. And we're going to roll the tape. I want you to hear it out of Donald Trump's mouth himself, because you need to hear this. This is what he said about Hillary Clinton when she was under investigation. We're going to roll the tape.
Folks, she shouldn't be allowed to run. Okay, sure. There's virtually no doubt that FBI Director Comey and the great special agents of the FBI will be able to collect more than enough evidence to garner indictments against Hillary Clinton and her inner circle, despite her efforts to disparage them and to discredit them. If she were to win this election, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis. In that situation, we could very well have a sitting president under felony indictment and ultimately a criminal trial.
Okay, folks, just to back it up. And this is one of the first times, I'm going to take my glasses off. This is one of the first times I will agree with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump said, when he was a Republican nominee, he said that the Department of Justice investigation of his Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton, if Hillary were charged criminally and becomes president, he warned, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis and grind the government to a halt. Then he said also in a 2016 speech in Reno, Nevada, he said, folks, he always a hustler, like a circus carnival barker. Folks, she shouldn't be allowed to run, okay? Donald Trump, you know what? I agree with you. Now, are you going to be a man to stand by your words? Or or are you going to tuck your tail between your legs and say you didn't say it? You said it, Donald Trump. It's on tape. You said she shouldn't be allowed to run. That's what she said. If she was convicted, and well, that was under investigation. She wasn't even convicted. She was just being investigated, and come to find out, she did nothing wrong. Come to find out, Donald Trump, you charged with 34 felonies. Now, you want to stand by your words, Donald Trump? That's why this man is dangerous, folks. He says one thing, turns back around and say he didn't say it. You know what I mean? He never sticks to his word. When you get an individual who never sticks to his word, he has no principles. He has no spine. He has no morals. And you want this man to become president of the United States again after he stole top secret documents and headed to a case in Florida, also a case in Atlanta for campaign interference. Now let me tell you what that's about. This man and his henchmen did not want your votes counted. That's it, folks. He didn't want your votes counted. He wanted your votes to mean nothing, and it didn't work. You understand that? Let's move on. You know what? Sometimes people say you're guilty by association, right? Well, let me put this on you. Now, Donald Trump is a felon. That's for sure. He's a felon, no doubt about it. But look at this here. Look at all the people he had hired around him. His campaign chairman, he was a felon. So was his deputy campaign manager. His personal lawyer was a felon, got charged. His chief strategist, charged as a felon. His national security advisor, charged as a felon. His trade advisor, charged as a felon. His policy advisor, charged as a felon. They're all felons, folks. They're all criminals, and Donald Trump is the kingpin of the criminal gang, right? And you got Republican representatives standing up behind this man, and they know he's blatantly immoral, mostly emotional bankrupt. He don't have no morals, no character. And you got religious people backing this man for what? Somebody name me Donald Trump's pastor's name. Somebody name the church Donald Trump went to. Huh? Send me an email. Send me an email with the church that Donald Trump is a member of. And send me the email with Donald Trump's pastor's name. Huh? You know why you can't do it? Because he don't care anything about you Christian folks. He was sleeping with a porn star when his wife was at home pregnant. Huh? Sleeping with a porn star. Now, I give you this for you Christian folks. If he come out and say, boy, I was wrong, I want to repent, I want to atone, I may say, okay, well, I give him a break. But the man hasn't done any of that. He hasn't admitted nothing that he's been found guilty of. And that's the first step in Christianity. That's the first step in Judaism. You got to atone and you got to admit that you were wrong and ask God to forgive your sins. This man just keeps sinning. He don't care about that. He just keeps sinning. You know what I mean? So let me move on. And if you want the names of these people, I'll give you the names of these people just in case you think I ain't making it up. The names of these people is former campaign manager Paul Manafort. His former campaign vice chairman was Rick Gates. His former fixer, Michael Cohen. His former chief of strategist, Steve Bannon. And Steve Bannon is on his way back to jail again, matter of fact. His former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. He was dirty. He fell as a felon. His former trade advisor, Peter Navarro. He went to jail and found guilty and a felon. And his foreign policy advisor, George Papadopoulos. All felons, folks. I ain't making this stuff up. I done read you the names. Now let's say this here. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, this is what he said. These charges should have never been brought in the first place. I expect the conviction to be overturned on appeal. That's what McConnell said. Now, I'm going to get to them too in a minute. Now, Susan Collins, she's a senator too. She said that Bragg's ran on the platform of going after Trump. He said, now, let me say this, folks. Alvin Bragg did not say he was going to get Donald Trump when he ran for office. Matter of fact, the investigation into Donald Trump started before Alvin Bragg even took office. That's a lie. You can't prove it. If you can't prove it, send me the email. Send me something. You know what I mean? Send me the link. Now, let me tell you, old Senator Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's a billionaire, and he down there groveling at the feet of Donald Trump. This is what this fool got to say. He said Bragg should have settled the case against Trump, and he said settled the case against Trump, and would have been the normal procedure. Now, Romney insisted before Trump was convicted. That's what he said before he was convicted. Let me tell you this, folks. All you people out there saying they picking on Trump, this case should have never went to court. You know how many people has been prosecuted under like Donald Trump for these same violations in New York? 9,793. That's how many people has been charged and then drug into court with the same violations that Donald Trump was under. The reason why most of these cases don't go to court because people plea bargain. Donald Trump did not want to plea bargain because he didn't want to admit his guilt. And since he didn't want to admit his guilt and he didn't want to plea bargain and he knew he was guilty of sin, then the jury found him guilty of 34 felonies. You got it? I want you to get it now. Now, here's the other thing. Here's Hunter Biden. All right. You know what Hunter Biden was accused of? Hunter Biden was found guilty on 3 felonies related to buying a gun while he was in the throes of a drug addiction. All right. So Hunter Biden went and bought a gun, checked on the form that he wasn't a drug user. That was a violation of law. Hunter Biden case, rarely ever anybody goes to court for a violation like this. That's your rarity. None of this, because it's always settled out of court. They ain't gonna come up to court with this nonsense, right? Now, if you say Hunter Biden's under influence of drugs, this is what the federal law says. If you're under the influence of drugs, you can't, you gotta check the box and you can't buy a gun. Well, if I'm drunk on alcohol and I stagger into the gun shop and I scribble down on the form that I can write a little bit, and I scribble down there that, hey, I want to buy this gun, and they don't even have a box to say you're alcoholic. No box to say you're alcoholic. I can stumble there and buy a gun, but if alleged drug addiction, matter of fact, Hunter Biden should be praised. The man had a drug problem. He got over his drug problem. He became a family man, doing the best he can to survive in this world. And here come these folks picking on him. Hunter Biden ain't running for no office. I can care less what Hunter Biden did, but I can care more about what Donald Trump did, because Donald Trump is trying to run for the highest office of the land, which can affect you, me, and everybody else. Right? So, we got to get out of this, folks. And all those people say, well, I support Donald Trump because of his policy. Okay, let me run down some President Joe Biden policy. Infrastructure plan in place. That's why you see all that work on the highways and byways. He capped insulin for Medicaid folks for $35. He came in with tax credit break for folks with kids. Got a big tax break for a long time until the Republicans didn't want to vote for it no more. He came in with the PACT Act, which also it allowed those folks who was military people who were suffering from working those burn pits. They finally got some relief and some money for that. He also turned around. He said he strengthened the Affordable Health Care Act. He also done that. You want me to keep going? Huh? So all you people talking about Donald Trump's policy, name one policy that Donald Trump has done, or 3 or 4, like what I just did. Also, let me keep going. I ain't done yet. Let me run down some more of these policies. He also came in with the Inflation Reduction Act. The Inflation Reduction Act, the inflation rate went down from 9% to 2.8%. Huh? Now, can you top that? Also, black folks, a lot of black folks out there, they talking about, black folks for Trump, black folks for Trump. Trump gonna lower our employment. Black employment rate is the lowest it's been since 50 years. The overall unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in almost 60 years. President Biden has created more jobs than any president before him. He created more jobs in 1 year than Donald Trump created in 4 years. So you want to talk about jobs? All the jobs are out there. That's why you see them people out there working on highways and byways. Who you think paying those taxes? Huh? So folks, tell me, like what I just ran down to you, tell me some of the policies that Donald Trump enacted that has the same impact as the ones I just mentioned, and that's just a short list of what President Biden and Kamala Harris has done. And I'll wait for your response. Okay, I know you didn't have none. I waited long enough. But look here, folks, this thing is important. We got an election coming up in November, and I hope you show this video over and over and over again, because this is about the truth. You know, this is about the character. This is about not only the character of the two men running for the presidency, but also about the character of this country. All right, because I don't want a president and I don't want a representatives sounding like the drunk guy down at the end of the bar who's drunk, right, and talking crazy. You got one guy talking that way. You know who that is. That's Donald Trump. And they have Joe Biden who's speaking to the American people. Joe Biden has not once said he's got a vendetta against anybody. Donald Trump comes out. He talks about cities and states here in the United States, and yet he wants to be president and preside over these states. He talks about folks in different parties, and yet when you're the president of everyone, even those who didn't vote for you. So keep that in mind. Hit the subscribe button, and you won't miss a show. This is The Truth About News. I'm your host, Keith Lander. Until next time, may God bless you and your family.